it's Julianne here, and welcome back to the Possum Stamps YouTube channel. I have some exciting news to share. As you can see by this banner, myself and the other amazing possum designers are all going to be participating in creating a Halloween card making series. We're going to start now and go all the way through Halloween. Halloween is definitely my favorite holiday, so I am super excited to be bringing you a bunch of inspiration in the next coming months. Now for my video today, I'm going to be showing you how I created this Slimline masked pumpkin patch card using some of the brand new products that were just released in the August 2021 release. The products that I'm going to be using today include the Munster Party 6x8 stamp set. Now there is a coordinating die for this set, but I'm not going to be using that today as I am going to be creating an almost one layer card. I am also going to be using the Hey Pumpkin 4x8 stamp set. So let's get started. So to start out my card today, I have gone ahead and trimmed down a piece of expressive blending cardstock down to 3 3/4 by 7.5. And I've placed that panel inside of my MISTI, and I'm now going to start creating my masked scene. Now off camera, I did stamp each one of the images that I plan on using in my card, and I stamped them onto a sheet of masking paper, so that way I could have all of my masks ready to go when I needed them. When creating a scene card like this, the first thing you need to decide is what images you want to look as though they are in the front of your card and which images you want to look as though they are in the back. So for my card, I started out with that smallest of the Munsters, the one with the bat wings, and I stamped him down first at the bottom of my card, and then I masked him off, and then I started stamping the different pumpkins to make it look as though they are behind him. So when I remove those masks, he will look as though he is in the front of my scene with everything else behind him. Now, as I continue up the panel, I'm going to decide on the placement of where I want each one of my pumpkins, as well as the other Munsters. And again, I'll stamp them down, I'll then mask them off, and then I'm going to stamp the next image, which again is going to look as though it is behind the previous image that I stamped. Now, since this is such a large panel, there definitely is a lot to stamp and mask. But I truly enjoy masking. It is one of my favorite cards to make. But if you like the look of this, but don't particularly want to do all of this work, you could definitely do a simpler version of this card, and you could add dimension to it and do die cutting instead. And there is also a huge cluster of pumpkins included in the Hey Pumpkin stamp set that gives you the look of masking without having to do all of the work as well. Now, as I'm getting closer to the top of my panel, I do know that this looks like a hot mess because I have all of those masks everywhere and all of the different stamped lines. But the next part coming up is definitely my favorite, and that's when I finally get to peel back each one of those masks in order to reveal my scene. I just love how this scene came out. It is definitely a huge scene full of pumpkins and Munsters that I can't wait to color. But first, I want to show you how I'm going to correct some of my mistakes. With everything, there is always one or two mistakes, and where this came from is that I didn't cut my mask perfectly on that black line. So when I went to stamp the images that looked like they were behind them, the whole image just didn't stamp out. But it's super easy to fix. I'm going to come in with my Memento dual brush marker pen, and I'm just going to go in and connect any of those lines that are missing. Once I get each one of those connected, I'm now going to start working on coloring in my entire panel. Now, just like masking, I find coloring with my Copics to be super relaxing. Now, as I am coloring, I'm going to have all of my marker caps off to the side of the screen, so that way you can follow along. And I will also list the colors down at the bottom of the screen as well to make it a little bit easier. Now, if the coloring process isn't something that you enjoy, that's perfectly fine. Please feel free to skip ahead to the time that I've listed on the screen right here. Now that I'm done with all of my coloring, I can now work on assembling everything together. I'm going to start off by adhering my colored panel down to my Slimline card base, and for that I've just gone ahead and used some liquid glue. Once I have that all adhered, off camera I did take one of the sentiments from the Munster Party stamp set that reads "Eat, Drink, and Be Scary," and I stamped that sentiment and white heat embossed it onto some black cardstock. I went ahead and trimmed the sentiment down, and to give it a little bit of dimension, I've added some foam adhesive behind it, and I'm going to be adhering that down to my card as well. Now to finish everything off, I'm going to be adhering a few sequins from the brand new Hocus Pocus embellishment pack. I'm going to just be adding a few of those right around my sentiment, and once I get all of those adhered, that's going to complete my Pumpkin Patch Munster Slimline card. I just love the way that this card came out, and I hope that you do too. If you're interested, you can find a list of supplies that I've used today all in the description box. And make sure, if you haven't already, to give this video a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the Possum Stamps YouTube channel for inspiration from myself and the other amazing designers. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you next time, and happy crafting!